It's launch week, friends, which means Modern Warfare 2 is coming out in full in just a few days, and we'll finally be grinding out a new game here with a lot to experience. Today, in preparation of all of that, I wanted to give you a rundown of everything you need to know in regards to Modern Warfare 2's launch. From preload information, game launch times, how to find redeemable rewards, and everything to expect of the full game. So, as we go along, drop your thoughts down below. Are you looking forward to the launch here of Modern Warfare 2? What are you playing first? You grinding out camos, weapon leveling, whatever the case, feel free to drop your thoughts below. But if you enjoyed the video, find it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on the video. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe here so you don't miss a single bit of the launch window content and everything to come beyond. I know it's a wildly lofty goal, but honestly, I'd love to see if we could push towards 500,000 subscribers by launch. So while it's possible we won't hit that, if you're new to the channel, you'd like to join the community and stay up to date with everything, I'd love to have you. And finally, a reminder, my friends at G Fuel have code Espresso bumped up to 30% off your entire order. So if you guys want to restock and get ready for launch, now is as best a time as any to do so. But that said, let's jump into everything you need to know about Modern Warfare 2's launch. So let's start with what's available right now. Preloading is something you can do here in order to get a jump on everything with Modern Warfare 2, basically installing the game ahead of the launch date so that once you end up hitting your regional rollout for when the game will launch, you can jump right into it pending no day one update, which is very likely and we'll talk about in a second. Now, preload availability, if you're on console, good news, you can actually start preloading already. Xbox had the ability to start preloading, I want to say the day before early access even began for campaign, and PlayStation is already available as well. Now, PC players on BNet and Steam unfortunately are not able to preload just yet, but that is something that will be coming here in the next few days. Starting on the 26th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, you can end up preloading, and that's just something that's held off a little later because they try to mitigate any data mined leaks and content here that comes out of it. So that's something that in 2 days time, or depending on when you watch this, the 26th, you'll be able to end up preloading on PC. Now, as for when the actual game launches, this is something that should seem self-explanatory, pretty obvious, but it does have a couple of things that might be confusing to some people. Firstly, the game itself launches for consoles globally on a regional rollout system, meaning that it's regionally based on whatever time zone you're in. So New Zealand, Australia, those are the first people in the world to end up getting access to it, and then working backwards towards that point. So wherever you are in the world outside of North America or the time zones that line up with such, it'll be something that launches at midnight your local time. Now, if you're in North America, that is something that the game launches at 9 p.m. Pacific time on the 27th, but also then that equates out to, because it's the same time with time zones, to midnight Eastern time. So depending on where you are in the States, Canada, we are the last sort of time zones to end up gaining access to it. Now, where it differs is those on PC don't have that sort of same regional midnight rollout. Instead, PC is one static launch time, which is 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern here for in the States. And then on screen is another image that will showcase a little bit of where that is elsewhere in the world, equating out to things like 1 a.m. in Sao Paulo, Brazil, 5 a.m. in the morning in London, 6 a.m. in Stockholm, Sweden and Berlin, 1 p.m. in the afternoon in Seoul, South Korea and Tokyo, Japan, and then 3 p.m. in the afternoon in places like Sydney, Australia. So that's something that unfortunately, if you're on PC, it is something that's more so time gated rather than an actual rollout. So we on PC have a little bit longer to wait here in regards to that. Now, there is one thing that is a little bit interesting. There is the sort of early access, if you want to put like an asterisk on it, because it's not something that is supposed to be this way. But for those who have physical copies, of course, you can access the game as soon as the servers go live. Usually they're turned on 2 or 3 days before the global launch to stress test servers and allow for gradual onboarding of players as opposed to millions jumping on all at once. And then digitally, PC is always time gated. There's no way around that, though. If you really are serious about playing a little early, pretty sure the New Zealand account sharing method on PlayStation still works if you have a secondary account listed to be from New Zealand. And I haven't ever done it, but I've heard that region changing on Xbox also allows this to work as well, where you can play ahead of whatever launch it is, so long as New Zealand, Australia, the global rollout already happens. So that's something to keep in mind. Again, kind of ways around the rollout system, but if you're not looking to buy another copy of the game just to play a couple of hours early, it's probably not worth it. But anyways, outside of that, that is the information on preloading, the game launch. But up until then, we're likely to see a couple of more blogs coming over the course of the next couple of days prepping for launch. Maybe even a trailer of some kind, but there's still a lot to learn about that we haven't heard just yet. The ranking system, more officially speaking on the map counts and the maps we'll see at launch, and I'm sure we could think up a dozen different topics, but be on the lookout for that. Of course, if there is anything, we'll keep it to date with absolutely anything you need to know coming out of that. And finally, rounding out this sort of launch preparation portion of this video, there's going to be a day one update that does come. This happens every single year. How big in terms of sizing, we don't quite know. Some have been minimal in terms of like 5 to 10 gigabytes in the past. Some have been upwards of 40 to 50, if I'm not mistaken. So could be anywhere in between that, but that's going to finalize and kind of iron out the content that we may see in early access right now, where in the last couple of days you were able to access the menus and everything like that. All of that we see there might not be exactly what we see at launch, and that day one update will be something that finalizes everything we will see. So just bear that in mind, that while we can pre-install, while you can get a lot of the downloads out of the way right out of the gate, that's nice, but it's still going to require something on day one. Now, beyond that, let's talk about what we can expect to see here with launch itself. With launch, we actually have a hefty amount of earned rewards that we can talk about that should be credited to your account depending on the version of the game you have, what you took part in the pre-launch festivities and things like that with the beta. So let's run down these things that should automatically be on your account day one. If you have the Vault Edition, you should get that Red Team 141 pack with skins for Ghost, Far Up, Price, and Soap. The FGX Cinder Weapon Vault, which is that M4 weapon vault, meaning everything is unlocked, all attachments, platforms, and all. You can jump right into the camo grind, you can jump right into weapon attachment tuning, all that kind of stuff with the M4. Additionally, the Blueprint has cosmetics for every single attachment, so unlike the last 3 years, if you had a Blueprint, you changed some of the attachments, you'd lose out on some of that cosmetic identity. That's no longer the case with weapon vaults. Regular Blueprints coming throughout the year will still have that sort of problem and issue, but the vault itself will not. Now, later on, the Vault Edition also grants you access to Season 1's Battle Pass and 50 tier skips, but we'll talk about that later on down the line because that's not for launch. Now, that said, we also ended up getting a bunch of things here for the beta participation, depending on where you got between Weekend 1 and Weekend 2 in your overall leveling. If you played all the way you got to the max level of 30, you'd end up having the Smashed It animated emblem, the Buckle Up charm, the Pass the Test animated calling card, the Operation First Blood sticker, the Side Impact X13 auto blueprint, the Collision Operator skin, the No Competition vinyl, the Safety First sticker, the Floor It vehicle skin, and the Frontal Impact TAC 56 blueprint. Again, those all being credited to your account if you played on the same account for the beta as you do at launch. And finally, in terms of other rewards, we have the campaign rewards for those that played early access, but also if you didn't play early access, don't worry, this is still stuff that you can end up earning just by simply playing through the campaign even after launch. You end up getting 4 operators of Chewie, Nova, Reyes, and Hutch. There's 4 calling cards up on offer for Subs Determination, Chain Linked, Gaz, and Shadow Company Ops. There's an emblem called What's Done Is Done, and then there's a couple of double XP tokens, 2 30-minute double XP tokens with 2 30 double weapon XP tokens, and 2 60-minute double XP tokens and 2 60 double weapon XP tokens. So those are available. If you complete the campaign, you get all of those rewards. You get an additional weapon blueprint of the Union Guard M4, which comes with the AMOP V4 reflex sight, the SC 1mm PEQ laser, the FSS Covert V silencer muzzle, and the Lock Grip Precision 40 underbarrel grip. Now, depending on if you ended up getting other retailer bonuses, like Control Freak has some in-game stuff, that's stuff you have to redeem through your Call of Duty account on, I believe, callofduty.com/redeem. The codes that come along with those items, those can then be credited to your account by adding them there. But beyond that, XP bonuses are also something that we'll see here within Modern Warfare 2, because while at the moment it seems like the double XP tokens from this past 3 years will not carry over into Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2, if you're looking to get some more stuff for your XP grind, one of the big ones right now is the Mountain Dew/Call of Duty promotion here. So for redeemable tokens like that, you'll need to go over to whatever retailer or promotion it is that has that going on and redeem those codes there. So for the Mountain Dew and Call of Duty one, you'll have to go to mountaindewgaming.com, and then from there you can input codes from bottles, cans, 12 or 24 packs, whatever you ended up picking up. If I'm not mistaken, the Little Caesars Call of Duty combo promotion is also the same way, since the code is from the Mountain Dew 20-ounce drink you end up getting from that bundle. But you need to log in, connect your Call of Duty account to the site so that it's credited, but from there you should just be able to simply have it on your account. COD points that are also associated with that Mountain Dew promo, by the way, those will not be available until Season 1, however, because there's no shop in the game, so those things you end up purchasing for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and beyond, they just won't be in the game at that point. Now, would it be advantageous to end up having it within Warzone or something like that if you want to go back and buy some stuff for the past 3 years? Sure, but it's not working like that, unfortunately. Now, the final thing in terms of bonuses here that come around launch is that starting on the 28th, going until November 6th, if you guys want some free cosmetic things, there is the ability to end up linking your Call of Duty account and your Twitch account and earn Twitch drops by simply watching Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 streams on twitch.tv. If you decide to take part in it, you end up getting a charm at 15 minutes, a calling card at 30 minutes, and 45 minutes a sticker, and then a blueprint at 60 minutes overall. So again, all you have to do, go over to twitch.tv, link your Call of Duty account and your Activision account, and just watch some streamers from the 28th to the 6th for a total amount of time. You don't have to do that all in one sitting. It will credit it based off of sort of cumulative time watched. So if you got some time on a lunch break, you just want to tab out and put something in and earn some stuff, that's a way to do it. And a little shameless self-promotion, I'll be grinding it out back over on Twitch here again. We took a couple of weeks off here just to kind of get ready for Modern Warfare 2, but now we're going to hit the ground running. So if you guys want to check it out, earn some free stuff, you can follow my Twitch down there in the description below. Now, beyond all of that, well, of course, the most obvious, you have access to simply the full game. Campaign, for those who did not digitally pre-order, you can experience the campaign for yourself. I'd definitely say it's worth playing. I really enjoyed it. I thought the payoff was better at the end as opposed to Modern Warfare 2019's to some degree. Again, we talked about that in a couple of videos in the past, but beyond that, we end up having multiplayer, which not to just be like, hey, you can play multiplayer. We actually have a decent bit we can talk about with this because multiplayer is probably what we're all looking forward to. So what do we know about that? Well, firstly, in terms of weaponry, as detailed by the COD blog, at launch, we should see 51 weapons across 33 weapon platforms. Though what's interesting is that, again, if we saw those weapons that we had behind the scenes getting to the menus before we were supposed to with the campaign early access, I want to say it was like 54, 55 weapons and 30 weapon platforms. So we'll see how that all works out, getting back to that launch number. Beyond that, we have 12 multiplayer modes, 10 in traditional 6v6, seen to be team deathmatch, free-for-all, domination, search and destroy, headquarters, prisoner rescue, hardpoint, kill confirmed, control, and knockout. If there's not one here that you see, it's probably going to be coming at some point during the year as a sort of LTM or a mode added in season. But also, while it's not explicitly mentioned, you can expect hardcore variations of all of these as well. The other remaining two will be ground war as well as invasion for those larger player counts on the larger maps. Right now, it's rumored that we'll have 11 6v6 maps, 5 ground war maps. That has not been officially confirmed, but I wouldn't be surprised if that actually does turn out to be the case. But while not confirmed as the time of recording this, apparently the maps will be the Greenberg Hotel, Museum, Mercado Las Almas, and Farm 18 from the beta. Then additionally, we'll have the maps of Tarak, Crown Raceway, which that's actually Grand Prix renamed to avoid licensing issues and conflicts, Albagra Fortress, Zarqua Hydroelectric, Santa Senya Border Crossing, Embassy, and El Asio, with the ground war maps apparently being Said, Sarif Bay, Santa Senya, Hydroelectric, and Albagra Fortress once again. So no, you didn't hear that wrong. There do appear to be smaller versions and subsections of those to make 6v6 maps as well, those ground war maps being from Al Mazrah and the Warzone map also. Now, finally, in terms of multiplayer stuff, Camos, we know of Gold, Platinum, Polyatomic, and Orion. Whether or not those names will stick, we'll have to wait and see, but there's footage of all of them. They look pretty badass if you ask me, but that's just me. And then Spec Ops, we know that we'll end up having 3 main missions here with this, so we'll see how this all works out. I'm curious to see how much more supported this will be as opposed to Modern Warfare 2019 Spec Ops, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with the gameplay loop, especially with raids coming during Season 1. So we'll see how this all works out, but that is everything you need to know, essentially, in regards to the launch of Modern Warfare 2. We're getting really close, so that's what we're going to call it, and I'd love to get your thoughts and feedback down below. What are you looking forward to the most here out of Modern Warfare 2? What are you going to jump into first? Whatever the case, drop your thoughts below. But if you enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on the video, and if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Modern Warfare 2. But for now, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care, and peace.